So before we even get started, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on what actually goes on at MEPS. First, the entire process is nothing but hurry up and wait. With that out of the way, let's get started. So, you're ready to join the military, you've talked to an Army recruiter, and now it's time for you to go off to MEPS. Now, let's get started by explaining what MEPS actually is. MEPS is the Military Entrance Processing Station. What that means is that is where the military goes through all of its paperwork, all of its medical screening in order to make sure that you are a qualified candidate to join the military. So for me, MEPS was a 2-day process. The first day is full of traveling and confirming my ASVAB score, and the second day is the entire medical screening process and where you sign your contract and or pick your job depending on your branch of the military. So day one, you show up at your Army recruiter's office. I had to show up at about 9:30 in the morning, and it's just sitting around waiting for the shuttle to come. They want you to show up a little bit early, that way in case you have to sign any paperwork, that way they can get your ticket printed out for the bus to go over. Everything is already finished and you're not rushing last minute in order to scramble onto the bus. Now, get your ticket, you give it to the driver, you climb inside of the van, and you get going. I was the unlucky one and lived furthest away from the closest MEP site. Closest MEP site for me was San Jose, and that is about a 3.5 hour drive from where I live. So, get on a bus, we had to go stop at 3 other recruiting stations to pick up other recruits, and then continue our way up to San Jose. Now, in the van, you're going to have 2 groups of people. You're going to have people that are shipping off to basic training, and you're going to have people that are going to MEPS just like you. Now, the people that are shipping off to basic training, when you get to your destination, they're going to get off at a hotel, and they're going to hang out for the rest of the night. You'll be back to the hotel later, but first, you've got to go to the MEPS facility. Now, when you get to the MEPS facility, you're going to have to go through security, you're going to have to get fingerprinted. And for me, what that meant was I have to get fingerprinted in order to take my PICAT. Now, the PICAT, as you guys probably know, is only just a confirmation exam to make sure that you are the one that's taking your original ASVAB. Now, unfortunately for me, the PICAT was down. The PICAT is supposed to be a 20 or 30-minute exam, and because it was down, they had me retake the entire ASVAB. From what I've heard, this is actually pretty common, so if you are going to take the PICAT, just plan on taking the entire ASVAB. With having to take the entire ASVAB, some of you will finish sooner than others, and depending on the time that you actually get to the MEPS facility, will depend on how many shuttles there are left in the day to take you back to that hotel. So by the time that I had finished the ASVAB, the only shuttle that was left was the last shuttle of the day. So that meant that we all had to wait until every single person inside of the facility had finished testing before I could actually go back to the hotel. After that, they bust us back over to the hotel at, I said, about 8:30 at night. They check you in, they give you your room card and your meal tickets for all you're there. While you're at MEPS, they feed you dinner for that night and they feed you breakfast for the next morning. They give us little raffle tickets, and those were our tickets to the restaurant downstairs. And for dinner that night, at least at my hotel, they served a full 3-course meal. I had salad, I had a lasagna, and a cheesecake. It was all absolutely excellent food. So as soon as I got done with dinner, I pretty much went back to my hotel room, brushed my teeth, and got ready for bed. At this point, it was probably about 10:30 at night, and wake-up call was at 4:15 in the morning. So if you're not used to waking up early, I would recommend setting an alarm on your phone, and then the hotel room will give you a wake-up call. But like I said, if you're a heavy sleeper, set an extra alarm on your phone. That way you're actually able to get up. It's pretty much a shower, shave, and get downstairs because it's time for breakfast. They give you the meal ticket for breakfast down at the restaurant, again in the hotel. Like I said before, the hotel is going to be serving excellent food. I think for me there was eggs, bacon, sausage, cereal, milk, juice, toast. I think that's it. There's good food. Either way, you're sitting around, you eat real quick, they just pile you in with everybody to sit at a table. and now you're waiting for the buses to show up in the morning. Everybody that is either there to get processed for medical or there to ship off will be getting on a bus. So once you get to the MEPS facility, you're going to have to go through security and you're going to have to go check in. So now they send me over to medical to get my medical processing started. That involves standing around and waiting in a long line. Now, while waiting in this long line, all you do is wait. There's nothing going on. There might be a TV on in the corner and there might not be. So once you get to medical processing, this is where your morning briefing starts, and what that includes is a sexual harassment and misconduct presentation. This is where they'll start taking your blood pressure and your pulse. They're just going to start they're going to give you forms to fill out. It's going to be a lot going on, but like I said, the military will tell you what to do and how to do it, so don't worry about that. So after your morning briefing, one of the things that you'll have is on your chest, you'll have a sticker that has a bunch of check boxes on it. Those check boxes are stations that you have to go to while you're there, and you have to have every station checked off. Now, the stations are going to include hearing, ear check, vision, blood, urine, your interview, and I'm probably missing one or two. But at this point, the only thing that you have to do is make sure that you go to all of the stations and you get them all checked off. So after lunch is probably the most awkward section of MEPS, and that's where they're going to do their neurophysical exam on you. And what that entails is you stripping down to your underwear, sitting there for hours at a time, and doing some exercises in front of some old men. It sounds strange, but that's what it is. You'll all be doing it together, so I guess you can look at it as team building, I guess. But pretty much you walk in, you find one of the 40 chairs that are sitting along the outside of the wall, and you start stripping down to your underwear. You put your clothes underneath the desk, and you hold your paperwork in your hand. At that time, the doctor will call 8 of you up at a time to stand in front of him and do some exercises. It's not like weightlifting exercises, it's like the bend down, touch your toes, can you stand on one foot kind of exercises. So nothing to be too worried about there. It's all very simple. So after you've done your neurophysical exam, you sit back down in a chair and watch everybody else do theirs. There's not really much going on other than 8 men at a time doing stretches in their underwear. Yeah. So while you're watching everybody do stretches in their underwear, certain doctors will be pulling 1 or 2 of you at a time aside, and that's where you're going to be starting your individual physical and your individual screening. That's where you'll be starting your individual medical physical. And essentially all that is they look at your eyes, they look in your ears again, they look at the inside of your mouth, they palpate your stomach. They do a hernia check, so you will be standing there naked in front of a doctor. If you're a guy, it can be a female doctor, but there will be a male in the room. So for me, I had 2 people looking at me butt naked. It doesn't bother me because it's my body. Some of you will be getting over that fear of being naked in front of somebody very quickly. But for the most part, you'll have a doctor that'll check your hernia. They're not going to stick their finger up your butt, but they will tell you to bend over and spread your cheeks. That's about it. And then after that, you've finished all of your medical processing. From there, they're going to tell you, congratulations, you've passed, and then you're just there to sign paperwork. Everything, at least for me, was an electronic signature using my thumbprint. You don't really sign much pen and paper. It just takes too long. So everything is done with a fingerprint, which makes it really easy and really nice. But for the most part, you sign all your paperwork, you sit around, wait some more, and then you swear in, and you're a part of the you swear in, and then you're a part of the, for me, Army Reserves. Now, if you aren't in the Army, or you're not going into the Army, say you're going into the Air Force, the Navy, the Marine Corps, once you finish with your medical physical with a doctor, that will be the time you go and you pick your job. For the Army, your job is already reserved for you when you go to MEPS, so you don't have to choose. You just get to sign and confirm the job that you've already chosen, which is really nice. You don't have to worry about anything as long as you can pass your medical physicals. But then after that, you just sign paperwork, you swear in, and now you're a part of the essentially military. You're a part of the military without really doing any military things. You swore in, but you're just waiting to really ship off and go to basic training. That's MEPS in a nutshell. For the most part, you're there from probably 5:30 in the morning until, for me, 6 o'clock at night, and you're sitting around for 95% of it. A lot of it is just get to one station, sit there, be quiet, follow the rules, and don't mess up. And I mean, if you can follow simple instructions, you'll be all right. I will be doing a video here shortly on tips in order to get you through MEPS, because there are a couple of things that will be useful in order to make sure that your MEPS experience runs smoothly, so stay tuned for that video. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate you tuning in. I hope I was helpful in giving you guys some insight about what you will be experiencing while you're there at MEPS, and I guess I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.